What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of Drawn Outdoors TV. Today we're going to cover camera arms. I have a specific camera arm I used all last season. I really liked it, had a lot of great positives to it, only a couple cons, but it might not be the camera arm for you, so I'm going to try and help you find the right match for what your setup needs. I don't want to put you in a camera arm that's way too heavy and bulky or way too lightweight for your camera. You want to find that right camera arm that's going to be perfect for what you're doing, whether you're self-filming or filming somebody else. You want to make sure you got the right gear for what you need. So let's dive in. Today we're talking about the Fourth Arrow Stiff Arm Pro. It's a great camera arm. I used it all last season, really enjoyed it. There's a lot of great pros to it. Only a couple cons, but for me, it was what I needed for what I use for my filming setup. There's a lot of arms out there. There's a lot more lighter weight ones and a lot cheaper ones that will probably do what you need. But for me, this was the one that I wanted to use and it worked great. But just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's what you need. What we want to do is get you in the right camera arm so that way it's convenient for you, you don't have any issues with it, and it's a lot easier to haul in and out of the woods. So I'm going to talk about a few different things, and I'm going to also talk about a few other options that you could use for a camera arm that might be better suited for you. Alright guys, so here's the camera arm I used all of last year. It is the Fourth Arrow Stiff Arm Pro. There's a lot of great features about it, only a couple negatives. One of the best features is it is rock solid. Like, there is no camera shake. Even when you have the arm fully extended out, there's no camera shake at all. My camera setup is like 5 pounds. And last year I was actually running a different head on this until the end of the season, and the head I had on there was 5 pounds, which is really heavy. It's part of the reason why I switched. So I had like 10 to 11 pounds total on this, and it has like an 18-pound holding weight, and it was rock solid, super smooth, just got like buttery good footage. And that was probably the reason I went with this camera arm, because I wanted the super smooth footage. I didn't want any camera shake. So the other great feature about this is the 3.0 base. It's really small and compact, so it's easy to throw in your backpack or just on the side of it. It's really lightweight, so you don't have a lot of weight to it. The camera arm weighs the most, to be honest, and so you could go with a lighter weight camera arm. You could go with like even just the stiff arm instead of the Stiff Arm Pro would be a lot lighter. Now they have the new Ghost arm, which is super light, but it all depends on your camera weight. So if you have a heavier camera and you want to make sure it's going to be solid, you got to make sure that it's going to hold the weight. Part of the reason I went with this is because I just didn't want any shake. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get the most heavy duty thing I can. And the weight to me isn't that big of an issue. I would get it if you were having to haul a lot of gear and go way deep into the woods where it could get heavy, or if you're, doing some mountain stuff. But usually if you're doing that type of hunt, you're usually doing like spot and stock, and I wasn't. Like, I was basically just straight up tree stand hunting for the most part of where we were at and the guys I was filming. Another sweet feature is Fourth Arrow offers, you can buy just the bases, and so I bought, this year I bought 3 more bases for it, so I've got 4 of them, so I'm going to have 3 of them in some of our permanent spots, basically because there's a couple trees that are like really big trees, or just like spots where it's like that's the only spot we film in that area, and so I'm just going to put the bases up in the tree there and then leave them there, and I'll be good to go, so I don't have to carry a base with me and try and ratchet strap it in the morning or in the evening. I can just show up, pull the base off, and just stick it on, and I'm good to go. So that's a huge feature from Fourth Arrow. That's super awesome because no other company really does it that much. The strap is a little bit bigger because it has a 1.5 inch strap instead of just the 1 inch, which helps with stability. It's stronger, it's going to hold it tighter to the tree. You don't have to worry about getting loose, but it is a little bit more weight and it takes up a little bit more room in your pack. But for me, it wasn't a big issue. I had no problem with it. I'm going to show you kind of how this thing breaks down and how I would put it in my pack and how I would carry it around everywhere with me. Another great feature about this arm is it's super smooth. I mean, it moves nice and smoothly. There's no hiccups in it at all. It would be nice to have like a triple arm. Some guys use triple arms. A lot of saddle guys use it, and I can see why. There's convenience to it. But I never had any issues with this. It moved perfectly how I needed it to. So super smooth arm, a lot smoother than my last arm. Like I said, I think before, I had the Muddy Outfitter arm, which is a great budget-friendly arm. It's only about like 80 to 100 bucks, and it gets you in the game. And if you're not using a heavy camera setup, it works really well. The only downside to that arm is it has a lot bigger base to it, so it's a little bit heavier. But this camera arm for me was super smooth, gave me that really good smooth cinematic look. I think I said smooth like 8 times now, which is ridiculous. Again, everything about this arm was really good. There was only one downside to this arm. and it didn't happen until late season because we hunt here in Nebraska, and it does get pretty cold here in the winter months, you know, especially as you get into late season, later December. So we hunted in some days where it was, you know, 0 or negative degrees, and I was still in a tree stand because whatever, I don't care, I just want to hunt. The only thing I noticed was even when I put a lighter head on, the camera would start to tilt. So even with the lighter head, and I had it all tightened down and everything just like it normally would, it would just like, it was something with the cold, with the inside of the base was just making it so it was just like slowly sinking. So basically, if I had this a little bit loose, it would just, I'd put the camera and everything on there and it would just slowly start sinking down. And then I couldn't stop it. I had it all the way tight. It was good to go. It would go all the way down, and it's kind of hard to film when your camera arm's going like that. So that's like the main drawback that I have with this arm. I never had any other issues except for when it got really cold. It just didn't want to hold in place. It kind of sucked. I mean, if you're self-filming, that's when you're screwed. Like, there was nothing you can do about it. If I'm filming somebody else, it's fine. I'll just take the camera off and I'll just hand hold it. That's fine. But that was the only drawback that I really had with this. Otherwise, everything about it was super nice, super solid, super smooth, great camera arm, great product. So as long as you're not hunting in the super cold, and I don't know if maybe I just had something that was messed up, but that was the only drawback, the only con that I really had. Otherwise, if you want to pick out another con, you could say it's a little heavy, because the arm is a little bit heavier, but I just didn't feel like it was heavy enough that it really set me back in any way. Like, yeah, it's a little bit heavier on your pack, but wasn't heavy enough to really make me dread carrying it. It didn't bother me that much. Great camera arm. Highly recommend the Stiff Arm Pro, especially if you want that really good smooth footage. 4th Arrow is a great company. They make great products. They're really into what they do. I can't fault them for anything because it's just they know what they're doing. I mean, camera arms is like their main thing. They're basically the industry standard now, and there's a reason they're the industry standard, because they make really good, solid products. All right, guys, so I just wanted to show you, this is the 3.0 base. It's pretty small, as you can see, super lightweight, basically weighs nothing. It has this one knob on the side here, and all you do is loosen that, and then you have a bubble level on top right here. So you just loosen that up once you get your mount it to the tree and get the arm in, and then you just basically move it to wherever you want. It's kind of hard to do with your hand, actually. There we go. Yeah, so you just move it around, get it level, screw this tight, and then you're good to go. It's all set. So, like I said earlier, one of the cool features is you can buy extra bases for it, so then you can just leave them in trees. So if you have, like, you know, 2, 3, 4 spots, you can just buy the extra bases. This is the base for it. So this is what straps to the tree. The strap goes right through here, straps up tight to the tree, and then all you do is take this piece with you. So you have just this one piece, that's what you're going to carry with you, and you're going to slide it in just like that. Once you get there, you tighten up the bottom, and then you're all set. Just like that. Super simple. No more ratchet strapping when it's dark and you're trying not to spook anything. So super simple process. An awesome feature that 4th Arrow has, giving you the option to buy just the bases for it, because most of the time you're carrying your base and having to ratchet strap it to every tree you go to and then take it down at night. Now you can just leave these in the tree if you've got a few spots that you like to go hunt. Strap it tight, you're good to go. Then you just bring your base with, and you bring your camera arm, and you're good to go. Good job, 4th Arrow. Really like that. All in all, this is a great camera arm. Love everything about it. If it's too heavyweight for you, or you don't need that heavy of one, I mean, it's rated for up to 18 pounds. So, I mean, if you're running a heavy camera, that's what you want. My camera's not even that heavy, but I'm still running it just because I wanted to make sure it was going to be rock solid and steady. Otherwise, you could look at just a regular stiff arm, or you could look at the new Ghost arm that they have, which is like 1.2 pounds. Like, it's like basically like air. That one holds up to 8 pounds, I believe, of camera weight. So you just got to make sure if you run just a handy cam, that's a great arm. It's an expensive arm, but it's super lightweight, so if you need to be the lightest weight possible for hauling gear, that's going to be your arm for you. It's super lightweight, you won't even know you're carrying it. And it comes with a 3.0 base, which is super nice. The 3.0 base was a huge upgrade over the 2.0. 2.0 was a lot bigger and bulkier. Weight-wise, I don't know if it was necessarily too much more, but it was just a lot more to try and fit in your pack. So 3.0 base is great. I would highly recommend going 3.0 base no matter what you do with the 4th Arrows, and then pick the arm that you want that's going to fit your camera needs. So basically just check the weight of your camera once it's fully loaded, whether you got microphones, any other stuff added to it, monitors. Check the full weights and weigh it out, and then see what camera arm is going to work best for you, whether it's the Stiff Arm, the Stiff Arm Pro, the Ghost, the Triple Arm, the Micro Triple Arm, whatever it is. If you're just doing simple stuff with a simple handy cam, a lot lighter weight camera arm is going to be better for you, and you don't need that heavy arm. So make sure you check that. That's one thing you want to make sure you do, is don't buy more than you need, but also don't buy less than you need, because you don't want to all of a sudden buy one and be like, man, I wish I would have got one that was a little more solid for a heavier setup. I should mention that the Stiff Arm Pro kit that comes with the 3.0 base and the Stiff Arm Pro arm right now retails at $329.99 on Fourth Arrow's site. That's pretty expensive. I was fortunate enough, I bought it last year when it was $299, but obviously with inflation and all the stuff that's going on in this world, prices of everything have gone up. So it is getting a little pricey. There are some better options out there for cheaper. Just want to make sure that you get the right arm for what you need. Don't skimp out if you need a heavier arm. You'll regret it later. Just buy the right one that you need now. But if you don't need that heavy of an arm, there's a lot better options that are going to be cheaper. And so check into those. I'll leave a couple links down below of some other good camera arm options. I just want to make sure everybody gets the right arm for what they need, so that way they're not spending too much money or not spending enough to get the things that they need. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Leave us a comment if you have any questions or thoughts on the camera arm. Yeah, that just didn't sound good. Well, that's all I got for today. Well, that's all I got for today. Hit the like button. Leave a comment if you have any questions on any items or comment. I just suck at this. I don't understand why. Well, that's all I got for today. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment or a question if you have anything that you want to talk about. That sucks too. So we'll see you next time. We'll see you next time? God, that was awful. Until next time, we'll see you. Until next time, we'll see you? Thanks for watching. No. I really suck tonight. I cannot do this. I don't know why. Unless that was hard. Let's try again. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode of Drawn Outdoors TV. Hopefully the camera arms that we talked about today are helpful for you. Hopefully we get you in the right camera arm for what you need in a camera. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment if you have any questions or any comments about anything at all. Even if I just look like an idiot, that's fine too. I do have a video coming up here in a couple weeks. I just bought a new product. It is not camera related, but it is hunting related, and it is a really cool feature and something that is going to change a lot of things for me this year, which is going to be super awesome. I know Jake doesn't have one, Ben doesn't have one, and Teddy doesn't have one, but by the end of the season, they're probably all going to want one. So it's a really cool product, and it's a part of the industry that's really expensive, but I found kind of a loophole, and I just want to share it with you guys and talk about it because it's really cool, and it's going to make my hunting season so much better. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.